The Skills Development Levies Act was introduced to fund the skills development initiatives in South Africa. So let me explain. In 1998, the Skills Development Act was introduced. So why was the Skills Development Act introduced? Think about this. We come from a legacy of apartheid. 1994, we are now a democratic country. What does this mean? It means now every South African has an opportunity to work for whatever company that they want to work for. Now you have a company. You have all these South Africans that can now come and work in your company. What would be your first question? Do they have the skill that you are looking for? So in 1998, government introduces the Skills Development Act to improve the current skills of South Africans, because post 1994, people did not have the required skills for different workplaces. To also encourage employers to use their working space as active learning environment. That's why the Skills Development Act was introduced in 1998. Then the question was, who is now going to pay for all of this? So in 1999, Skills Development Levies Act number 9 was then introduced to fund the skills development initiatives in our country. So how does it work? So this law says all employers who have a salary bill of 500,000 or more must register for skills development levies. So they must pay the levies. So companies with a salary bill of 500,000, they must then register to pay SDL. Where do they register? With SARS. And then how does it work? It then says they must pay 1% of their payroll bill to SARS on a monthly basis. So this payroll bill will include what? It will be your wages, your overtime, bonuses. If all of this adds up to 500,000 over a period of 12 months, this is very important. So it's 500,000 over 12 months. What does this mean? If you take 500,000 and you split it over 12 months, we're talking around 41,600 roundabout. That's where it comes out to. So if your company's salary bill on a monthly basis comes up to around 42,000 and over 12 months it's 500,000, it means you need to register for SDL and pay your levies on a monthly basis to SARS, 1% of your payroll bill. Then the question is, what happens to all this money? SARS will collect all this money. So I'm going to do this. SARS has collected your levies, they 100%. All right. What happens to that money? 80% of this money goes to Setas. And then 20% goes to the National Skills Fund. Okay. Then where you are more interested as the employer is, okay, so what do these Setas do with this 80%? So Setas will keep 10.5% for their administration, for running the Setas. Okay. And then the 69.5% is then distributed through different grants. I'm now going to zoom into these grants, right? Okay. So how do these grants work? It's split into two. 20% goes to mandatory grant. So the word mandatory says this is the grant that a company will get. What are the conditions? What are the criteria to get this grant? Companies need to then submit a workplace skills plan and an annual training report to their relevant Seta. When should companies pay this? Most Setas are saying April of every year. On a yearly basis, companies need to submit the WSP and ATR to their relevant Seta, and they automatically get 20% of their grant. How much is left now? 49.5%. 49.5%. So this 49.5%, it's then distributed back to the companies through what we call discretionary grants. And how does it work now to get discretionary grants? So Setas will advertise and say there is an open window, or companies must submit an expression of interest or a letter of intent. So they will respond to an advert that the Setas will put out there. They advertise via their websites or their social media platforms for companies to apply for discretionary grants. If you like this content and you'd like to engage further, please subscribe on the link below. Thank you.